Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. See, that's the part like when we live in this remote world, right? Everyone is joining from various part of the world. So, hello, everyone. Very excited to be here, and I'm definitely happy and nervous to share my experience and views on this topic, right? In fact, when Marshall and Juliana told me that they would like to have a conversation with me. I said, well, means I can share what I know. I'm not claiming here that I'm the guru in this space, but definitely I would love to share my views on this, right? So I think uh, Wollenberg, what you were asking about it, right? That like what just my insight. I think I'm not going to bore you with my own credentials. I think Marcella did even better than me. I didn't know that like I have that much of credentials on my resume, but thank you, Marshalla, for doing that. Uh, but yes, I can share that like, yes, from heart, right? I'm a core technology enthusiast, right? And always amazed to see the way this whole technology is evolving, the rapid pace of technology evolution, and how it is changing the shape of the future, right? So uh, during pandemic, I think what happened was that like we saw few distinct phenomena going on right there. Right, one that overnight organizations were forced to go remote and they were forced to become digital. Right, we all
Yes.
have heard about like digital transformation is going on and people are doing so many initiatives, but they had like 3 years plan, 5 year plan, 10 year plan, and but overnight on one day, particular day when it was offices were closed, they were forced to become digital, right? So what happened with that, right? The demand on it, the workload on it significantly went up, right? The work which was supposed to do be performed in 3 years, CIOs and CTOs were expected to complete in week, right? In days, right? So there was a significant demand on IT work as well as for the talent, right? And the remote work started to becoming a new normal, right? So what happened? In order to stay competitive, in order to differentiate the business, they wanted better talent and even faster, right? The speed became very, very critical. So we were looking into this phenomenon. We said, you know what, like if we launch a platform which will give our clients immediate access to highly qualified professionals from all over the world. Why to get restricted with a geography, right? You're looking for a, say, DevOps engineer in New York. Why, right? If I can get you at par or even better talent from Peru, from Poland, or from Philippines, why not, right? So we said if we can give that access, immediate access to highly qualified professionals to our client, that would be good. And then for our talent, people who were aspiring to work with Silicon Valley firms, large enterprise, and they were not able to work because they were living and sitting in a different country, then it's a win-win for both. And that was the genesis of why we launched Hyqoo, right? Hyqoo as a talent cloud platform. So yeah, that's the story. It was like a win-win for all of the parties involved in that. And here we are.
How can you face this challenge to select with the best fit position to the big companies' job offers?
No, I think the first thing is, right, to know what our talent want. That's the main focus, right? It's not to force fit individuals or experts to a particular geography, right? One of our commitment to our talent world is that will find their dream job, best opportunities, right? So matching a particular professional to an opportunity is happens both ways, right? That I am looking for this kind of a role, and yes, here is an opportunity, and then we do that, right? And that's where one, our platform does that phenomenally well through technology, and second, our team, the team of talent evangelists, they do that, right? So both side, right? As long as you are understanding what your talent need, and as long as you understand what your hiring manager needs, you are able to make that, right? So not sure like if I have answered your, but there is no magic bullet here, right? The thing is that you have to invest in understanding your talent need, right? And you have to focus on that. But my request also is for to talents is that like you should also be upfront and provide your preferences, right? So when you are creating your profile, right, on our platform, you should mention that what you are looking for, what your aspirations are, so that we can carve out a proper career path and match you to the right opportunity.
Given the dynamic in the tech market, could you highlight the key strategies and pillars that underpin your business and help it thrive amidst evolving challenges?
You know what, like it is, and it can be answered in many ways, right? So I think let me attempt this way, right? So one is that the I would say that in this whole environment, right, today, right, we believe one, technology is not an enabler. It is the main driver for business, right? It should be in forefront, and that's in our DNA, right? That is what we thrived, right? So we are extremely passionate about one, our customer success and our talent success, right? And continuously we are looking for an opportunity that our Hyqoo platform should do two things, right? One, enhance the user experience, right? Whether it is talent or client, right? And make their life easy. So that is what it is, right? So that is our core principle, right? When it comes to in this whole environment, or our strategy, or our core principle, and that is yielding us good result, right? I always say that, right? If our Hyqoo platform is not enhancing the user experience, not making the life easier, be open to get the feedback and take action immediately, right? Because there is always a scope of improvement, right? So that's I don't know who asked that, but like if that answers the question the way I understood.
Can you list for me the most common difficulties that professionals have, and what is the effective strategies to employ and they address this difficult from this kind of professionals like with us?
No, so if I understand your question, what you're asking is like, because that's more
Yeah.
here relevant or of
Yes.
interest. So the irony is that the benefit of remote work also can become a challenge, right, if not addressed properly. And the number one is the work-life balance, right? We have heard, we have witnessed, we have seen, we have enjoyed in remote world, you do have a work-life balance, right? You are saving so much time in commute and everything. You can spend more time with your friends and family, right? And everything. But that is also a challenge, right? If you have not established a clear boundary, right? If you have not set the expectation, understand one thing, right? We are living in a world where we have a global distributed team. Someone is working in Eastern time zone, someone is working in European time zone, someone is working in Latin America, right? And this is the team. This is the real world, right? So if you have not defined your work hours, you have not set the expectation and clearly communicated with your team members that when you can collaborate, and if you have not established a clear communication channel, you will run into it. So that's where you have to clearly define your daily routine, right? You have to communicate what overlap hours for collaborations are there, right? And then only you will be able to maintain that work life balance. Now, I'm not saying that if there is a fire at work, you say, oh, this is my personal time, I'm not going to attend it. No, by no means I'm suggesting that, but you do have to. But as long as you are focusing on the outcomes, right, and not counting your hours, that hey, I've worked for 8 hours, I worked for 10 hours, you will be fine, right, in maintaining that work life balance, right? That's number one, I think, biggest problem I always hear and see that, like, hey, you know what, like, I don't have clear, like, I continue to work and keep working on it, and I don't know when to stop, when to start, kind of a thing. So you do have to define that, right? The second thing which organization and talent is there, like sense of belongingness, right? You're sitting alone in your home office. Those were the days when we used to walk in the office, you are meeting, having a social interaction with people, right? Relationship building, right? The trust factor was built very fast during office days, right? So what you do, right? How you are going to address that part of it, right? So the way basically you have to address is that open up, right? Have more meetings, right? During those virtual meetings, I tell to my team, right? Put on your videos, right? Miss, don't come act like a ghost, right? And then start talking. Switch on your videos. Have more collaboration that way, right? Communicate more frequently in your client organization or within Hyqoo, right? We There are online communities, right? Join those groups, contribute to that, interact with people, right? So then and then celebrate those moments, right, virtually. So that sense of belongingness, which is second biggest factor, is always like can be addressed, right. And the last thing, or one of the other thing I would say, is that you always have a fear of that, you know what, I'm working remotely in some other part of the world, I might not get an opportunity in career advancement, right? I'm not will get an equal opportunity as I was getting or used to get during in office days, right? I don't think so, that's true, that's a myth, right? As long as your work is visible to other, as long as you are clearly communicating to your manager, to your peer, right, and also you are open for the feedback and improvement, you are going to have a successful career in this remote world, right? That's how I see that. Like, I'm sure, like, others will have their own views and opinion, but I feel
Yes.
these are some of the like three thing important items which you can address.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so we have one question. What would you two say are pros and cons of the rapid development of the AI on the remote work?
Well, it is going this AI is kind of like everyone is talking about it, and interestingly, I was having a conversation last week with someone, and we went into this whole conversation, and there were quite a few individuals from banking industry, right? Some executives, and it was more of a social gathering. But I think AI is going to only help us, right? Means I don't think so. Uh, we should be getting scared of that, getting afraid that it's going to take away our job, or it's going to only help us in having much better life, right. That's number one. Number two is that I'm very optimistic, as well as I know, like, I'm very close to technology. I can see that it is going to generate more opportunity for all the technology professionals here. That's for sure. 100%, right? As you can see, already we are seeing so much of demand because so many Gen AI projects and initiatives are launched in the organization, and the demand is for technology professionals is going up, right? So I don't see, I see this is a great thing to have. And you will see that more and more this role, it is going to play an important role in remote work, right? I will take this and extend little bit more to this thing, right? AI is just part of it, right? The whole immersive experience itself, you will see playing a very important role in remote work, right? Today we are doing all this whole collaboration project management software. We have all those Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Slack, right? And those kind of a thing. Great, right? But slowly you will see like how augmented reality, the virtual reality, metaverse is in very early stages, but you will see how those things are going to reshape or refine this remote world, right? And that's where I see that the role of AI, one on the business, is going to increase the demand on technology, but role of AI in the remote working environment is also going to play a very important, and it is going to change the way we operate and work today. So I see that as a blessing than anything else today. That is where I keep requesting, keep telling people that stay relevant, right? Stay focused, keep an eye on the technology evolution, and make yourself aware, train yourself, right? Find an opportunity to upskill yourself or reskill yourself. And as long as you are doing that, you don't have to be threatened by any of these things.
What resources or recommendations, Atul, can you provide to support the people who are trying to learn every day here?
Yeah, I think I have spoken earlier, but let's just to summarize, right? One is that on learning development, why it is important, right? Means I think we all say that, yeah, we'll continue, right? For what? Number one, I think spoke about staying relevant, right? It's very important, right? And how you do that? By learning about what the latest tool, latest software, right? What best practices is going on, and learning about that, right? Second is that it's a very competitive market. It's a highly competitive market. So you have to create your own niche. You have to create the competitive advantage for yourself, right? And how do you do that, right? Again, same learning and development. You have to continuously invest in reskilling, upskilling yourself, right? And chart out your career path, right? So online courses, webinars, industry forums, local meetups, right? I talked about professional certification, which kind of aligns with your career path, is going to help you, right? And when it comes to Hyqoo, right, I talked about is that through our talent portal, you have access. There is a gateway for a much broader learning and development program, which is available to you, right? Hyqoo Circle is providing you opportunity to interact, build your rapport, to get recognized and rewarded, right? In many ways, right? So I think those are some of the things which at Hyqoo we provide. But even I would recommend and suggest that outside Hyqoo, right, you have to find ways, right, to stay relevant, create your competitive advantages. Some of the things which I talked about it, right? There are so many online communities, professional communities you should be joining, right, to to focus on your learning career, I would say, and development path.
Can you share some key strategies that professionals can implement to excel the remote careers and remain competitive in the job market?
Yeah, maybe you will hear again the same thing, right, which I have talked about it, but I'm still going to say, right? Number one, if to stay competitive, you have to create your brand, right? Build your brand. It's very, very important, right? People don't know you, you are virtual, right? So you have to create your brand and you have to continuously maintain that brand, right? So if you have added two more things to your career, make sure that it gets reflected in multiple ways in your work, in your profile, in the forum which you are part of it, right? That's number one. Number two, I is to me is the communication and collaboration skills, right? This is a key to success, right? How effective you are in your communication, right? How effective you are in using digital technologies, right, to collaborate with others, right, is very important, right? And then you do have to build a strong network of professional friends, right? It is very important, right? Uh, you know what, like you might be a great technology individual, right? Obviously, we all aspire to grow, right? That requires a lot of other skills, right, to build, right? How do you manage a complex project? How do you manage a distributed team as you take the leadership role? In those, soft skills become very, very important, right? So those are some of the things, right, which you should always keep that in mind as you are living in this world and aspiring to grow. Does that help, Marjala?
In how will the future scope of the remote work industry look like? And actually, in your opinion, Atul, what does the future of work look to you?
Yeah. Is this the future of work or this is the current work? I think I am slowly moving away from calling it future of work, that it is here. It is not future anymore, right? It is here. But
Present.
yeah, and
Interesting.
that future which is here, it is going to be here forever, right? Remote work is here to stay. It's not going away, right? Now, obviously, organizations have seen so much benefit, right, of through this whole model, right? Benefit of attracting, retaining great talent, right? Higher job satisfaction, great work-life balance, and not to discount the whole cost saving, cost optimization, and many more, right? Benefit, right? So, fact is that what you are calling future of work, that remote work is going to stay here. Now, there are organizations, right, who also have realized that, you know what, there were certain advantage of in person, right? So they are moving towards more hybrid work models, right? Where are some days in office, some remote days, right? I personally feel, again, I would say that I'm not claiming that I have a data back here, but I personally feel remote hybrid work is more of an interim solution here, right? Where people want to get the benefit of the both approaches, right? Means remote world and in-person days, right? But as the technology evolves, right? As I was talking about this whole AR, VR, or metaverse, or AI, these things taking more and more bigger role in remote world, you will see that this remote world will evolve into even more refined way of working, right? And we will see that. So to me, as I said, right, future of work is now, and that is the remote. um, I know that I was reading one article where there are a few companies, right, who mentioned that, you know what, like for us, in person is definitely required because we are into manufacturing. We need engineers on the shop floor. Guess what? Like tomorrow, once you have augmented and virtual reality playing into the picture, do you really need to be that? You can still test the 3D model through those technology, right? Sitting in other part of the world, right? I'm not saying that 100% it will be all everywhere, it will be remote, but we have seen companies like Automatic, Zapier, and others, right? Like who are remote. We are remote. Hyqoo is remote, and we are functioning that way, right? So yeah, means to me it is here. It's not no longer future of work. It is now.